You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship you. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. Oh God, you alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship you. Hi, this is LYDIA Monique.
How are you?
I'm very okay. I'm very fine.
Andrew Muiko here.
Ah, nice.
So tell me, you good?
Yeah, I'm very okay.
Talk to us.
What is in my heart? Have you ever gone through something alone? Like you're just alone. Just there alone. What normally comes into your mind? You're like, people have abandoned me, or God has abandoned me, or both of them are liars. You reach that point where you feel like hakuna mtu karibu na mimi, no one is here, and I'm going through the valley of the shadow of death, and actually death is more closer to me than the valley itself, but no one is there for me, not even the people that I've ever come through for. And I was with the Holy Spirit, and he was telling me that, when the Lord has called you for a purpose, when the Lord has something for you, that is a mission, a vision, when he has called you for a mission, a specific task, he will prepare you.
Okay.
He will have to, kwa Kiswahili tunasema nakupika, upikike, uive, ukae poa.
Finyanga.
Akufinyange vizuri. Yes, ni finyange. So akufinyange vile inafaa. So when God does that kufinyanga process and all that, at times he reaches a point where he doesn't require anybody to be closer to you. So it is God that removes people literally from you. Even the people that you know very well are your best friends. I have a friend called Adhiambo, and I always know that she can never turn her back from me.
Right.
But it reaches a point where God literally removes everybody, including that your bestie, and you become all alone so that he can do his task. You wanted to say something?
No, I'm okay.
You're just looking at me.
Yes, I'm enjoying the moment.
Yeah. So at that time, when that happens to you, and you know very well that the Lord has called you for a task, maybe saa zingine when mwimbaji, you're a minister, a pastor, a singer, a youth, whatever, you just know you are in a mission with God. When you realize that God is doing that in your life, or when you realize that you reached that rock bottom, you really need to read the book of Psalms 34 verse 5. That verse says that those who look to me are radiant, and their faces are never covered with shame.
Okay.
Meaning, at that point, you need to really look to God. You don't need to look at anybody. You really need not to look at who is there, who has talked to me, who hasn't spoken to me, who is giving me food. Because I know of instances where you don't even have food. You don't have rent. I know people that stay in the city are required to pay rent at the end of every month. Those, let me say, them that are in Kenya, we are always required to pay our rent at the end of the month.
True.
So it reaches a point where you can't even raise money for that rent. You can't raise money for your medication. You can't raise money for food. You can't do just anything. You are crippled. When you reach at that point, you really need to look to God, because those points are those points that God really require you to look to Him, to rely on Him. So actually, I wanted to speak on relying on God, reliance on God.
Can we rely on God if our needs are met? Especially you find that uko sawa, you have money.
You have everything.
You have everything.
Actually, that is the time.
Is it easier to rely? Is it easier to rely on God at that moment?
You really need to rely on God at such moments when you're surrounded with abundance. That's the time actually you really need to rely on God, because when you lack, definitely you look to God. But when abundance comes, you will feel like, now I have what it takes. But you really need to know that a path of a righteous man are directed by God. So if God will not direct my path during my abundance, then I am so lost. That's why what is his name? Solomon the king. When Solomon the king was chosen as a king, you know, someone that has grown in the house of abundance. When you are my father was a king, and my father had everything. We have everything. We have what it takes. But now see this task. You're going to lead. You've been added more abundance, because we know with the power comes riches, comes stability, comes security. Like God literally has added security. God has added abundance. God has added so much.
True.
But Solomon sat down and realized that I think this is the time I need God the most, and I really need to seek God. What am I going to ask God? What am I going to ask of God? Lord, give me the wisdom. Why? It is his wisdom that will help him manage himself. That's why you hear people making jokes, zile fun, is it memes and all that the only person that tunati is Solomon, because he managed to control almost 1,000 wives, 1,000 women. No, there was nothing. Why? Because there was God. There was God in this. In the book of James, God says that in case you lack wisdom, ask of me, who gives without finding any faults. So it means that when you ask of God, when you ask wisdom of God, like you ask God to give you the wisdom, He will not even look at whatever you've done. He will not look at what the situation you are in. He will not even look at, you are poor, you are you are so rich, that is the only thing that God gives in abundance. He gives without finding any faults. So whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whatever circumstance, as long as God has a mission with you, as long as you are called of God, as long as you are doing something, you have to really rely on God. You really have to look to God, because those who look to Him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. Even kings are ashamed. Even strong men reach points where they feel ashamed of themselves. They feel despised. They feel disregarded. I have seen kings that people disregard. Umedharauliwa tu. But those who look to God can never be regarded. Those who look to God are radiant. Those who look to God can never be put to shame. Yes.
In this era that we are in, we seem like God is not there. The generation that is coming up, people are disrespecting morals, everything. There's a lot of evil in the society. People are ignoring. How do you balance to still remain in the faith when the society, the environment surrounding you is not conducive?
Yeah.
Even where you feel you are the odd one out.
Yeah.
You find even the Christians themselves, they're even
worse.
They're even worse than the people that are not born again.
Ecclesiastes says that there is nothing new under the sun. I think that is the book that I enjoy reading the most. It means that this that is happening right now happened. Remember the story of Lot? Lot was the only righteous person in that. What was the name of that city?
I can't remember that one.
The city that God destroyed. He was the only righteous man, and what is his name? Abraham could beg God. Like there is a point.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah was even worse. It was worse than whatever we're seeing right now. So there is nothing new. So at that time, Lot was the righteous person, and you know what God did? Because he remained faithful, he was picked together with the family. So in every generation there must be a remnant. In every circumstance there must always be a remnant. That's why glass inaza anguka ipasuke lakini ibaki kidogo, like this one ikipasuka huku chini ubaki. So it's a remnant. But now, are you going to be that remnant? So most of the time we are really striving so hard that we be the remnant. So that when whatever God is doing, one of those prayers that you make, is that God, in this generation, please, whatever you're doing in this generation, just do it with me. I just want to experience, I want to see whatever you're doing. So in every generation there must always be a remnant, and we strive. Paul says that we are running towards righteousness. We are not righteous, we are not perfect, we are not anything, but we are in a race towards that. So that is what encourages me, reading the Bible and seeing that all those things have ever happened. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.